Hey guys, welcome back. BGC Care here. We're back with our weekly recap of all things Injustice. This is for the week of January 27th, 2022. Getting straight into it, the current character challenge is Blackest Night Hawkgirl. That is a 1 week repeat. The required characters for that are Batman, Joker, and Nightwing, who you can get at Gold, Silver, and Bronze, respectively, for their lowest tier level. So they're all available directly in the store. And Batman's pretty common, so this is...
Right, there's so many skins, so the packs, even if you want to try to get them cheaper, it's not that hard.
Yeah, so there's a good chance if you have the stats for the challenge that you probably have the characters, or you'd be able to get them, hopefully.
Right.
His passive... Her passive. Yeah. Hawkgirl. I was thinking about Batman.
I know.
Her passive is Necrotic Life Force, which is Hawkgirl receives 15% health back when anyone in the battle is knocked out, and any Blackest Night character who is knocked out on Hawkgirl's team will resurrect once with 20% health. She's got 1,240 attack and 1,360 health. She was last available on the 1st of April 2021. So yeah.
Yeah.
She's good. She's interesting.
She is really good, and not necessarily just because of what she is. It's what she brings. So you look at her stats, they're pretty high. Her base stats are actually kind of funny and uncommon because they're not multiples of 50 or 100. It's 1240 and 1360.
Yeah.
And what really makes her great is actually not her. It's Blackest Night Flash.
Yeah.
So Blackest Night Flash is annoying because he's got that passive that makes it easy for him to interrupt your basics.
Yeah.
He's got the extra health when he resurrects, so instead of getting only 20%, he gets a full 100%.
Mm-hmm.
So having her on a team with him is basically like filling a second slot on your team with another Blackest Night Flash, if that's what you want.
Yeah.
With the exact same gear loadout. And I think that's actually a pretty powerful thing, even if she was crap. Even if she did nothing else except for resurrect Flash.
It's true, yeah.
Yeah.
It does really just give you almost like a second Flash.
Right. And I've only played Hawkgirls in general because of their abilities. It's because it's not like the character themselves have particularly good basic attacks or even specials. They're hard to make them work, but Hawkgirl Prime, great, right?
Yeah.
Like with a tag in, the cooldown clock is shorter.
She's a really good support card.
Yeah, I think that's what they've done with pretty much all the Hawkgirls.
Yeah.
And so if you're going to be playing the Blackest Night team, it goes without saying that you really need to have her on it because you're getting 3 free resurrections, right? Her teammates and herself. Requires 0 gear slots for it. So I think her value is going to be a function of how good and how well equipped the teammates you're giving her are, right? Because if you're resurrecting somebody crap, not that useful. You're resurrecting Blackest Night Flash. Yeah, that's pretty sweet.
And because of the way she gets health back when anybody gets knocked out, I mean, she makes a pretty good tank, right? With the inherent revive and everything else.
Right.
And like we mentioned, not the best specials or basic attacks. Yeah. So she's not the best at damage dealing, but she is a really good sort of built-in, pretty tanky.
So here's the problem. If we take a step back and we're talking about the challenges in general. So we've had 2 complete runs of a 43-week cycle that first appeared in May 2020. We've got second week in this third run of the cycle. Yeah. So 88 weeks in a row. If the pattern holds, next week is probably going to be Red Lantern Hal Jordan. Mm-hmm. Problem is we're still missing 23 challenge characters.
Yeah.
So what we're hoping is at some point something's going to happen to change the cycle, whether it's actually one of the missing characters reappearing or even just some sort of break. I think we're hoping something because otherwise there's some pretty good characters.
Yeah, we only have like 2/3 of the challenge characters.
That's right. Yeah.
Less than 2/3.
Yeah.
Yeah. This week's multiplayer reward is Gingo Fruit, which becomes Gingold Soda. And when it's maxed out, it gives you a 30% damage reduction from basic attacks. It gives you the ability Blocking stops 22% more damage, 35% damage reduction from crit attacks, and the evolved ability, which has a 20% chance to take no damage from basic attacks. It was last available on the 24th of June 2021. It's the 56th week in a row of a continuous cycle of breakthrough rewards. It's the 25th week in a row of the repeated cycle. And we should expect Necron's Scythe next week, which starts out as Black Power Battery.
So this is the opposite of the challenge because this is a complete cycle. So we're hoping that in 6 weeks we will complete the 31-week cycle and that in 7 weeks we'll be starting the 3rd cycle of something complete and nothing is missing. So we want this not to change. This is a great piece of defensive gear, and with the right character and the right combination of gears, you can avoid taking any basic damage at all. When we first were playing around with this, we've got a video of it. It's actually the main video on our channel with Regime Nightwing that combined this with the Killer Croc companion gear.
Yeah.
So this it reduces it by 30%. Killer Croc reduces it by 20%, and his passive reduces it by the last 50%. He takes 0 basic damage.
Yeah.
You get a gear slot free for doing whatever you want.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's funny actually, because in with that loadout, that 20% chance, the evolved ability, 20% chance to take no basic damage for basic attacks.
Doesn't even matter.
Doesn't matter at all.
Because either they don't hit you or they don't hit you.
Right. I guess the only difference would be if there's any effect of them hitting you that would be like, enemy common Catwoman
or something.
Yeah, power drain or damage over time.
Yeah.
So maybe that would actually
Is it damage over time? I guess it would also depend if damage over time was proportional to the damage dealt, or if it was one of the ones that was proportional to your total health.
That's true.
Because if it's proportional to damage dealt, you'd also be getting 0 damage.
Right.
Yeah.
So on Regime Nightwing, what's neat when you play with this gear, why he's particularly good, is that you got a free slot. You only need 2 slots to make him invulnerable. There's no restrictions on who his teammates are.
Yeah.
And say you use Razzle Scimitar, you keep draining power.
Because then your combo ender and your special one are both power drain.
Right.
That's the other great thing about Nightwing, is that he's inherently somebody who makes it harder for other people to use specials, if you want to.
Yeah. So he's a tank. You let your teammates build up power. You tag them in and out for specials. You could use damage over time gears instead of Razzle Scimitar if you want.
Yeah.
Just to, so your damage scales up to your opponent.
And it's cool because it's still a little fun. It's still a little engaging. You don't entirely feel like it's not just a free win.
Right.
You have to, maintain your special ones and your combo enders. So you're actually doing stuff, and you actually have to pay attention. So it's cool, but it's also kind of engaging.
Right. And I guess a good comparison, recently, just in earlier this week's video or Q&A, we used it with Arkham Knight Batman to make him invulnerable. Now that required him to have Shazam as a New 52 Shazam as a teammate. So you see that right there, where not only are we using all 3 gear slots, we need a teammate. Regime Nightwing is pretty good, but it's only for basics, not for specials. Arkham Knight Batman really is invulnerable. He's not taking any damage over time, and if, as suggested, that we'd taken no power drain, there's not even any danger from getting drained.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really only gear shattering that's the risk.
So there we go.
Yeah.
In the store, we've got the Red Lantern Challenge Pack for 200,000 credits. I almost said 200,000 K credits, and I was like, "What's the K?" My brain wasn't putting it together for me, and I was very confused.
Yeah.
So that gives you a 6.16% chance of getting a Red Lantern, and versus a 2.86% in the normal Challenge Pack.
Right.
So as always, it's not worth it. We've done the math before, and how it breaks down is, the only time it's really worthwhile is if you are going to be selling back every character except for Red Lantern, pretty much.
Right.
Maybe with the exception, the only time it's worth it is if you only need him and then maybe 1 or 2 others, and the second you don't have everybody else, it loses value and becomes more expensive.
Right.
But what it is it's a clue for next week's challenge.
Right.
So
Right.
it matches up with our other schedule. We're almost certain next week will be Red Lantern Hal Jordan.
Right. So we've got the character bundle Arkham Allies hanging around for second week. We talked about it in more detail last week. What's interesting this week is Arkham Pack 1 is back.
Yeah.
$25, same as when it was here July 15th.
25 Canadian.
Right, yeah. I guess, if people are new coming to this, they don't realize we are Canadians, and I'll just read the description. It contains 3 powerful random gold cards in the Arkham series. New, just added, Arkham Knight Batman, Arkham Knight Harley Quinn, and the Arkham Knight. And if you look at the drop rates, you'd think, okay, so there's 6 characters they mentioned, 10% each, 4 gold or 40% gold characters. So you think maybe there's 10 total. Absolutely wrong. So, maybe I shouldn't say that. We only tested this back when it was power credits, and when it costs money. This is not the sort of thing that we're going to be opening an unlimited number of packs. So if we go by what happened previously when this used to be a power credit pack, then the only other Arkham cards that they didn't mention in the description are Arkham Knight Harley Quinn, Arkham Origins Deathstroke, an Arkham Harley Quinn, so the original one that was the chase card. And the problem is that it's not even like they're all distributed evenly. It's Arkham Knight Harley Quinn is also 10%, and Arkham Origins Deathstroke and Arkham Harley Quinn are both probably about 15%.
Yeah.
To make up for the extra, sort of the missing 10th Arkham card. And what we're missing out of the Arkham series of cards was Arkham Killer Croc and Arkham Knight Batgirl. Mm-hmm. And Arkham Knight Batgirl is great.
So there we
I think
go.
she's required on an Arkham team.
Yeah. We also have the Survivor Pack, which is around for its 3rd week, so we won't talk about that. The Character Bundle Batman Universe Pack, and then hanging around for a 15th week. Where at this point, I think I'm getting increasingly confident that it's a permanent staple. Yeah. Whether that's on purpose or not, is the Most Wanted Pack.
Right. So what's interesting this week is all of a sudden, I don't know what's happening, we have all 3 300 nth metal packs.
The Celebration Packs.
Yeah, so Aquaman was supposed to go away because it had already been for 2 weeks. This is the 3rd week. And for some reason, this is the first time it's happened. We've got the Shazam and the Joker Celebration Pack at the same time.
So we've got lots of reasons to celebrate this week.
Yeah. And maybe even be hopeful that somebody's actively doing something. Whether it's enough or anything that we want, we don't know yet, but this is sort of unusual, unprecedented.
Fingers crossed that it represents some behind-the-scenes scramble of changing back-end reward schedule stuff around, and what that means is that the character challenge might be swinging around, but I don't know if it's fair to be hopeful for it.
Right.
At this stage. It's a little early to make that claim specifically, so I'm not making that claim, but I'm fingers crossed for it.
Right.
In our Survivor, we have the Suicide Squad gear set until the 9th of February 2022. Phantom Zone has 1 more week left. Fight 62 is still broken. And we've got double XP for what looks like 6 days.
6 more days, so a week. So it's unusual because it extends before and well past the weekend. And the only thing I can think of is maybe they're celebrating the Chinese, or I guess more inclusively, we call it the Lunar New Year.
Mm-hmm. I call it the Lunar New Year, but if you want to call it the Lunar New Year, I won't stop you, I guess.
Yeah.
Last weekend's breakthrough was Zatanna, Flash, and Solomon Grundy. This coming weekend's should be Raven, Superman, and the Arkham Knight. We have a link in the description to a thread from Devlin16 on the subreddit with a complete breakthrough cycle.
Right. Current glitches. Every working glitch is explained in a video as part of the playlist that you can reach by clicking the eye in the top right corner of this video. We are Android only, so we can only confirm these glitches for Android. Do we really need to get it? Because it's a bit of a spoiler. Like, nothing has changed. Mm-hmm. We've talked about it at length. Maybe we could just quickly zoom through it. I don't know if people are actually watching this video for this kind of detail.
So stuff that you might want to do that you can't. Nothing for power credits that we're willing to talk about or endorse, or maybe even still works. Season 6, episode 9 of our P&Q and CNA&T for that, which we'll link in the description. Other stuff that you might want to do that you can't. Getting repeated past multiplayer season rewards, getting early multiplayer season rewards, getting through the Phantom Zone quickly using a glitch, and getting free energy without having to watch the free energy video.
Right.
In terms of working glitches, Phantom Zone and challenge reset methods are working. We mentioned them together just because if you're doing one, you're doing both. So just keep it somewhere in the back of your head when you're resetting progress on one that you have to be willing to do it on the other. If you are not on Android 9, 10 or I'm assuming later, 10 Kakde in the description has some advice for you that can help you avoid having to re-download a bunch of the app and instead just shuffle files around.
Mm-hmm. And we confirmed and tested it on this week's Blackest Night Hawkgirl challenge. Breakthrough glitch to let you play repeatedly still working. Airplane mode glitch is also working to get a refund on random drop packs that you don't want. Doesn't work for us in the Phantom Zone because getting the Phantom Zone reward actually requires an internet connection. Mm-hmm. Time shifting still good for unlimited survival play and energy recharges. Always fix your clock. Enough said. And the last thing, I guess, is the promotion glitch. Still in the list, mainly because it hasn't failed us when the circumstances are right, but the tricky part of that is that the circumstances haven't been there for years. Mm-hmm. And we'll take it off when it fails us for the first time when it should have worked.
Yeah, so there we go. To finish up, we have some folks that we would be remiss if we didn't thank. So I'd like to give a huge thank you to all the lovely folks who support us on Patreon. That includes Victor Gomez, Consul Peasant, and Edwoon at the highest tier, Last Word, Sinemac and Mohammed Albshaiti at the Your Message Here tier, Shawn Farrell, Daniel Simonson, Aaron Maule, Michael DeVries, Brandon C., Irvin Ruiz, and Eddydoo on the credited level, and Chris Wolff, Scarlet Dani, Awesomegamer241, Pavu RS, Gavin, Mallott, and Isfar E. at the gratitude level. Thanks so much for your support, and we'll see you next time.
Komoda.